So I've already washed my face and I've put on my moisturizer and my, my Seint creme and my sunblock. So now my face, and I've given everything time to absorb. So that's kind of one of the keys, I feel like, to getting a good, having your makeup look good, is to really give your skincare time to absorb instead of putting it on and then immediately going to do your makeup. So if you have that a few extra minutes in the morning before you've got to run out the door or start your day, it's great if you can give your skincare and your moisturizer time to absorb. Okay, so I've got my palette. Try to avoid the sun here, and I'm going to use this contour shade today, which is called Ash. It's one of my favorites. You've seen me a lot of times use Shadow, which is a little bit cooler than Ash, but this is one of my favorites, Ash. So I'm going to take the oval side and I'm going to do some really simple, easy contouring. So I'm just taking the oval end, dipping into the Ash, and I'm going to run a little bit along my hairline. Now, wherever I place this contour shade, it's going to recede and it's just going to look like a real shadow. That is the purpose of contour, just to recede into the background and look like a natural shadow. When we contour, we're really just deepening shadows on our faces that already exist. I can see here the sun is creeping up my sweater. So now I'm going to take a little bit more and I'm just going to start at the top of my ear, find my cheekbone, and then press up against that cheekbone, and I'm just going to bring it about to the outside corner of my eye. And I'm going to do that on both sides. Then I'm going to do my jawline. And I'm just following the edge of that jawline. I don't want to place the contour on the front of my face, just right along that jawline. And that's going to, if we have any saggy skin in this area, we can kind of erase it or at least minimize it by making it recede into the background and just making it look like a natural shadow. And then I'm going to use the same brush to contour my nose. And if you're not comfortable contouring, but you're still kind of interested in Seint, you can still use Seint and not do the contouring part. And as a matter of fact, before I used Seint, I hadn't really contoured either. I had gone to Ulta. I was curious about contouring, so I had gone to Ulta and they had recommended this powder contour, and I played around with it. I really didn't know where to place it or how I should apply it, but I played around with it and I thought it was patchy and splotchy and did not look like a natural shadow at all. It wasn't the right shade for me. So I kind of threw in the towel, and that was the end of my contouring there. But then once I started with Seint, learned how to contour properly, and now I love it. And it really does look just like a natural shadow. It doesn't look, I thought that before I really understood contouring, I kind of thought it was for, like magazine shoots and that really glammy, over the top, dramatic, almost theatrical makeup. And I was wrong. I was so wrong. It's just, it looks so natural when it's done correctly, and it really just looks like a natural shadow. So now I'm going to use the smudge brush, and I'm just going to contour my nose by drawing 2 straight lines down the top of my nose. And really, when it comes to contouring your nose, contouring in general, I think less is more. So I'm just going to kind of sketch a line down. Now I'm going to do one down the other side, making them very close together. It does not have to be perfect. Okay, and then I'm going to put a little V at the tip of my nose, which is going to give me a little bit of a nose lift. You can see that already it's looking like my nose has this really pretty tip at the end, which it doesn't really in real life. So then I'm going to connect my nose contour up here to my eyebrow very lightly, just to kind of complete that shadow illusion. Okay, and then you actually can stop there, but I like kind of a button nose shape. So if you prefer a button nose shape, you can just make a little line, a horizontal line right here, and you just kind of close off the tip of your nose. So now that's basically done. I've contoured. You can contour your lip also by just putting a little shadow right here in your bottom lip at the center. Just put a little contour right there, and then by placing a little contour right below your lip, kind of gives the illusion of a fuller lip. And you can do it on the top as well. Just don't bring your contour out to the corners of your mouth. Keep it just in the center. Okay, so now my contouring is done, and I'm just going to flip over the brush, and I'm going to use the round end to dot on my highlights. And today I'm going to do my brightening highlight first, and today I'm using this one, which is called White Peach. White Peach, usually I use linen. I'm going to show you linen. This is linen. I'm going to show you linen next to White Peach. Let's see if I can show you this. This is White Peach. How come I can't get focused in here? White Peach and linen. White Peach is a little cooler and linen is warmer. So today I'm using White Peach. Okay, so what is an accent or a brightening highlight? Well, Seint uses different wording from what you may be used to in the traditional makeup world. In the traditional makeup world, it's called foundation. Seint calls them highlights. And specifically, when we think of a concealer shade is typically a little lighter than your main foundation shade. So in Seint world, your accent or brightening highlight would be like your concealer shade, okay? And then your main shade, your main highlight would be like your main foundation shade. So it's really similar, just different wording. So for my brightening shade, I'm using White Peach today, and I'm going to put my brightening highlight in basically in the center of my face, because I want to bring some light to that area. As I said before, a contour is a dark shade, and dark shades recede and look like a shadow, right? The contour does. Just as dark colors recede, light colors are going to come forward. So any place that I place my brightening highlight is going to pop forward. So I'm going to place a little bit in between my eyebrows, right down the center of my nose. I'm going to do like an exclamation point down the center of my nose. I'm going to put a little bit under my nose and then on my chin. So right down the center of my face, and then I'm going to put some right through here under my eyes, just like where we would typically place a concealer shade to conceal under eye darkness. But as we get older, we have a tendency to get some loose skin in this area. So if I pile a lot of heavy products in this area, it's just going to accentuate texture. It's more product that can get, that can settle into lines and crack and crease throughout the day. So I don't want to put, you know, because I do have loose skin in this area, I don't want to put a lot of product here. I'm just going to place a little bit on the inside of my eye and then on the outside of my eye going up towards my eyebrow. And by putting some brightness back here, I'm going to, as you can see, it's given me a nice lift there. And I'm going to do it on the other side as well. And then when I blend, I will kind of connect these two areas, but I don't want to place a lot of makeup right in this area because I don't want to accentuate any texture in that area. So I'm going to use just the teeniest bit of product so that you know, minimal product means minimal texture. And you know, it's kind of counterintuitive because one might think, oh, well, as I get older, I, you know, start getting loose skin and more, you know, things I want to conceal or cover up or disguise, so I need to put on more product. But actually, the opposite is true. Really, as we get older, less is more. So, and that's the great thing with Seint, because the makeup is so highly pigmented. You only need the teeniest bit. And these tins, although you may think that they look small compared to maybe what you're used to with your normal bottle of traditional liquid foundation, these tins last months and months. So I would say typically 4 to 6 months at least, and mine last even longer than that. So now I'm done with my accent highlight, and now I'm just going to take my main highlight, which today I'm using this shade right here, which is called Athens. Normally, I'll go between Candlelit and Amber. This shade down here is Amber. Did I say Athens? I meant Amber. These two shades up here are my normal main shades. This one's Candlelit. This one is Athens. They are very neutral shades. Amber, as you can see, I don't know if you can tell, but is a little warmer. There's a little more yellow in Amber. Amber is almost like the warmer version of Athens. So today I'm using Amber, and I just am doing this because I want you to see that one woman really can wear more than one shade. And I like to keep several shades in my palette so that throughout the year, as I am a little darker or a little lighter or have a little more sun or a little less sun, I can kind of play with shades and blend. You don't have to keep this many shades in your palette, but that was one of the reasons that originally drew me to Seint. I liked the idea of kind of playing with shades, and Seint makes it so easy and fun to do that. So today, instead of my normal linen Candlelit Athens, I'm using White Peach and Amber, and I'm going to show you how great it looks. So now I'm just going to place Amber any place where I don't have my contour shade and I don't have my accent highlight. So I'm going to put a little here and a little here. And then I'm going to put a little bit right above my contour, right here, and here. And then I'm going to put some down here. And then I also like to put a little bit in the corners of my nose where I have some redness. And then I put just a little bit on my, right there. Okay, and now we are going to blend. I think today I'm going to use my blush and bronzer brush, and I am going to spritz my face with my setting spray. This is going to make it really easy to blend out my makeup, but it's also going to set my makeup for the day, and it's going to leave my skin with this dewy glow that I absolutely love. Another reason why I love Seint makeup. The makeup itself, the cream makeup, really leaves a beautiful glow on your skin because it's not a liquid foundation. It doesn't have water in it, so the water doesn't evaporate and the makeup doesn't dry down and leave your skin looking flat and dull. The creams stay creamy all day, and so the cream makeup leaves such a beautiful glow on your skin. But then, for even more glow, I use the setting spray to leave like that dewy, hydrated look of healthy, youthful, hydrated skin. So I'm going to spritz it on my face. And then I'm just going to take the small end of my blush and bronzer brush, and I'm going to blend my makeup out. So I just stipple the makeup into my skin, and I'm going to let this contour sit for a little bit, so I'm going to blend that last. I'm going to move on to my main shade, and you can do this any way you want. You can go darkest to lightest, lightest to darkest. You can kind of bounce around. Just the one thing that you don't want to do is just go like this and blend all the colors together, because then we really want to keep the different shades where we placed them, so that the whole purpose of using 3 shades as opposed to one shade of foundation is because using 3 shades leaves gives us a more 3-dimensional natural look. The light bright color is going to come forward, the dark contour is going to recede, and then the main shade is just going to even out our skin tone, and we're going to be left with a really pretty 3-dimensional look, as opposed to when we use just 1 shade of foundation all over our faces, and we're really just flattening out our features. And then once we do that, once we've flattened out all of our features, we need to go back, layer on all of these other things like, your powdered contour, and then your bronzer, and then your blush, and everything else. You build it back, and then you end up with a heavy face, a heavy application of makeup, which just is, gives it more chance to settle into lines and wrinkles and accentuate texture, which we don't want to do. So, okay, I've blended my main shade. I'm just going to get in the corners of my nose. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do in between my eyebrows here. Okay, and now I'm just going to grab my detail brush and use the small end of the detail brush to kind of get in the corners of my eyes. As I said, I'm just stippling the makeup into my skin. I don't want to drag it. I'm going to do this, the corner of this eye. And now I'm going to do my contour here. Just going to use the big end of the detail brush and just feather that contour upwards. And then for my nose, I'm just going to take the small end of the detail brush and just very lightly diffuse those lines, blend them in. And then I'm going to do my jawline. I'm just going to blend this back and down my neck. Okay, and that is done. Okay, so now my makeup is blended. I'm just going to add on a little bronzer. This one here is called Tan Lines. This is the bronzer, one of the bronzers that I really gravitate to, especially in wintertime. It is a very soft, light bronzer. It just gives a really soft bronzy glow. It just gives me just a hint of warmth. This doesn't look like, you know, summer sun, but it does warm up my skin just a touch, which is great. You know, as we get older, we do have a tendency to lose warmth in our skin. So a little bit of bronzer just goes a long way and just kind of livening up my face. Okay, so and that is Tan Lines. And now I'm going to take this shade, this lip and cheek shade here. All of Seint's lip colors double as blushes. So, and they come in glosses and semi-glosses and mattes. So one thing to know is that the gloss shades are more sheer than the satin shades. So I'm going to take this shade right here, which is called Nude. Kind of fighting the sun here. I'm going to take Nude and I'm going to place it just high on my cheekbone back here. And then I'm going to take this glossy shade called Cindy that I love, and I'm going to just place a little bit of Cindy on the apples of my cheeks. And then just a little bit more. And then I'm going to take my small end of my blush and bronzer brush and just blend out my blush. And that is, I really like that combination. It's natural looking, pretty, does just warm me up. And now I'm going to do my lips. So I'm going to take my multitasker brush and I'm just going to line my lips with my Ash contour, just lightly. And I'm just following my natural lip ridge. I'm going to just put Cindy right in the center. I love that combination. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop on a little bit of eyeshadow. So now I'm just taking my damp perfector sponge. It comes in this little tin, and then you just run it under water and it expands in size. And then you want to wring all of the water out with a clean towel, just so it's barely damp. But then you want to, I'm just spritzing mine with a little bit more of the setting spray. And then you just want to lightly pat the perfector sponge all over your skin. And what that's going to do is it's going to press your makeup into your skin and really make it look like a really skin-like finish. But the other thing that it's going to do is it's going to pick up any excess makeup. If you've applied a little bit too much, the perfector sponge will pick that up. So this is like the, you know, your last step. And then the last thing I'm going to do is put on this new illuminator that I'm trying called Pearl. And it's a cream illuminator. And I'm just going to put it right here on the tops of my cheekbones. Oh, I like Pearl. I don't know what's taken me so long to try this one. And I'm going to put a little bit down the center of my nose. And that illuminator is just going to leave the prettiest glow. It's like a little bit of light reflectivity. So it's just going to catch the light and bounce it. And it makes you look like you have this lit from within glow. Really pretty. Now, the way that I usually prime my eyelids for my eyeshadow is I just take whatever makeup is left on my brush that I used to apply my highlights, and I just sweep a little bit onto my lids like that, and then I just top it with a little bit of my Vanilla Dust setting powder. Okay, so just popping some Vanilla Dust setting powder on top, and now my eyelids are ready for eyeshadow. Okay, so first I'm taking this shadow called Stay Golden, and I'm just taking the fluffy end of my eyeshadow brush, and I am just going to sweep Stay Golden just above my crease, going windshield wiper fashion back and forth, and I'm kind of swirling it in the outside corner of my eye, both eyes. And then I'm going to take it, I'll run it along my lower lash line too. This is just a really light, soft, kind of warm, warm beige shade. And I'm kind of just doing it all over. Wash of color, and that was Stay Golden. Now I'm going to move to a slightly deeper shade. Okay, so now I'm switching to Bubba, which is just a little bit deeper. It's another warm brown, but not too dark, medium brown. And I'm just going to kind of place it in the outside corner of my eye here, going up towards the tail of my eyebrow, and then whatever's left on my brush, I'm going to sweep it just above my natural crease, going inward. And the key with eyeshadow is use a very light hand, and you don't want any harsh edges, so blending is key. So you're just kind of, you can make these little circles, go back and forth above your natural crease, and then I swirl it in the outside corner. So you want the deeper, you want the darker shades to be more in your crease and in the outside of your eye. And then I take Bubba also along my lower lash line. I find that this is the easiest eyeshadow method. There's a lot of methods out there, and you know, I know some of the looks can get really fancy and they look amazing. I just stick to this 3 colors, you know, like a really soft shade, a medium shade, and then sometimes a shimmer. But basically I always do it the same way. I just usually change it up. You just change up my colors. So I'm just taking Bubba and I'm doing the other eye, swirling it in the outside corner. What I forgot to do is just kind of place it here in the outside corner. It's much easier to add more than to go back and try to take away. So I just, you know, build slowly and just blend, 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 blend. And you know, my eyeshadow is never perfect, but it ends up looking fine. So then I'll just run it along my lower lash line on this side too. Good. And then the last shade I'm going to use is a shimmer. And this one's called Foxy. You see me use this one all the time. It's one of my favorite shimmers. It's just a brown, pretty brown shimmer. And I'm just going to use my finger and place it. And that is it. And I do like to take Foxy and bring it along my lower lash line as well. And that is it. So if you have kind of been watching and thinking maybe that you'd like to dip your toe into Seint makeup, I would love to help you get started. It's been about 1.5 years since I've been using Seint, and I truly have never loved my makeup like I love my Seint makeup. So, and I'll never go back to liquid foundation or powder foundation. If you think you'd like to try, I can actually help you choose your shades. If you're not familiar with the Seint shades already, they actually look darker in the tin than they actually are. So if you're not familiar with the shades, you may end up picking a shade that's too light for your skin tone. So I can help you with what's called a free shade match. And all that means is that I can recommend shades for you basically by matching you up with a makeup-free selfie photo that you would just take of yourself. You stand in front of a bright exterior window. You basically look straight out the window because that bright, indirect, natural light is really going to give the most accurate representation of your skin tone. And then you would upload it to my shade match form. And here's really where you would find that. You would go to the link in my bio and you would click on that link, and then that's going to take you to my link tree. And then the second button down is going to say get color matched. You click on that button and it's going to take you to my shade match form. And there you're just going to complete a quick little form. It's like name, email address, and like how you like to wear your makeup. Do you like pinks? Do you like pops of color? What color are your eyes? Those kind of questions. And then you upload your photo to that form. And basically from the time when I receive your color match request, I can usually turn it around to you with some shade recommendations within 24 hours, and usually the same day. So if you have questions, reach out. You can DM me. I'd love to answer questions. Oh, and the shade match process, it's completely free. There's no obligation. You don't have to purchase anything if you don't want to. And if I make recommendations for you, but then you feel like there's another shade or another lip and cheek color or eyeshadow that you like better, you can just make substitutions and swap out whatever you want for things that you prefer instead. And then just a final parting thought. There really is, you really can shop with confidence. You don't have to worry about it at all. Like, what if the shades aren't right for me, or what if I don't like it? Because there's a 30-day, Seint offers a 30-day return or exchange policy. And even if you try a shade and then you don't like it on your skin, you can still return it, which I don't know of any other makeup company that offers that. So you really can shop with confidence. So anyway, I hope you all have a great day, and I look forward to hearing from you.